Friends, I'm C. Nitin Pathak, Isaka chapter Ahmedabad. We are organizing different seminars at different places, mostly on Zoom. Subjects are varied and quite an interesting subjects are also there. So our main aim is to support the Isaka chapter of the month. Today in the news, welcome friends. Satya, Mr. Satya, you can open your, you are allowed to unmute yourself. Please come back. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Mr. Satya, welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. A few days back, I've been in Hyderabad. I met him personally. And the amount of knowledge and versatility we have it with us, with Mr. Satya, is enormous. He just told me that he appeared for some exam and cleared that exam. He's going to Israel to attend one seminar on Mr. Satya, where you're going on Israel? What is the subject of the seminar?
That's the CyberTech 3-day conference, sir.
That is,
CyberTech.
He is going to attend the cyber seminar in Israel, which would be going to be attended by different all over the world. So the amount of the quality of the faculty which we have, it is beyond imagination. And nowadays, it has been told that India has overpassed in population in terms of population. That is a great news on its own, and we are in many ways very powerful in different ways, not only in terms of English speaking, but also the way we are thinking. Our thinking is quite quite powerful than Chinese people. Chinese people are very disciplined. They're very hardworking. They have a linear thinking. We have a zigzag thinking that would make us so powerful. Youngest population in the world, fifth largest economy, democracy is number one. The way people are thinking, the way the development is going on, number one still user in the world. So what our number world is, when I hear about this phenomena, it makes me so happy. When I was born, our country was what and what is today. Now, what is the problem with this? You are very good, but you need to grow very fast. There are two things very important at this stage which makes India number one in the world. Is like each countryman. मोदी साहब अपना कंट्री नहीं बनाते, कंट्री हम लोग बनाते हैं. Each and individual works hard. The amount of work which I put in my life is 24/7 I'm working. And Sunday I'm resting my body so that next day I can go to work. And this is the way India is. And I tell you, India is going to be number one. India is going to grow with so much speed that nobody else can think of it. And it comes from only us only. These are the way, this is my presentation. We are going to take different classes, which is to come 25th January. I'm going to talk on law of limitation, law of limitation of law of attraction. Law of attraction book was published, and people think that because of your mind expanding, you'll be able to get what you want, but there is a limitations of it. This is, I'm going to talk on that. And the 27th January seminar on assurance over emerging technology by artificial intelligence, Neeraj Sukaria. He has written an article in ISACA chapter and he's going to talk on that subject. He's working with PwC and he's going to present us the subject on this. On 4th February, analysis of budget, which I'm going to talk it. But what I'm going to do is as soon as the budget is published, generally I give a lecture on budget, particularly for IT and GST, where people can use it as an encyclopedia for the years to come. This time I'm going to mini budget, where income tax provisions would be covered, GST provision would be covered, and how the economy would be going to change in the years to come, which I'm going to talk at, which I will be taking on 4th February, all a seminar at on 6:30. 7th February, we are going to talk on GST. In budget, there are some provision of GST, but it has to be approved by GST Council. GST is not run by Parliament only, but there is a GST Council. With these words, there are many PPT available on blog. Those who are attending for ISACA, they can get it to CP hours. Just email me or WhatsApp me. I'll give the CP hours to you. With this, I hand over the mic to Mr. Satya. Satya, I've already introduced him. Over to Mr. Satya. Are you there, sir?
Yeah, please.
Okay, over to you. Anyone wants to question anything, just grab me. This presentation is available on LinkedIn, YouTube, and many more presentations available. It will be put on blog as well as on LinkedIn, this thing. Those who miss it can cover it from there. Over to Satya. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nitin Pathak. So I know Pathak ji since the past 3 years. I associated with him during my Ahmedabad stay very closely, and though we are apart, the other day also we met in Hyderabad. So thanks to Nitin Pathak sir and thanks to the governing body of ISACA Ahmedabad for giving me the opportunity. So a little attempt is made by me now to give you a kind of an understanding on the IT governance. And also, as the cybersecurity is the most relevant topic, and that is continuing. Recently, a lot of incidents have happened, data leakage incidents or something happened in various, one stock exchange got impacted, and one major hospital where the head of state and all their patients or their medical history there, that has got impacted. So cybersecurity is continues to be in the limelight, but IT governance is the core of making IT relevant to the organization and IT deliver to the business. IT has to deliver to the business. IT should meet the expectations and demands of business. So that's why it's a mix of both a few concepts on cybersecurity and IT governance. Mostly as a person, I worked for the last 3 decades in the financial services sector. Mostly I'll be relating and telling you about the BFSI sector. As BFSI sector is consumer of largest IT resources in the country, and BFSI sector is very stringently regulated by the regulator Reserve Bank of India. And of course, the stock exchanges were also equally regulated by the authorities, IRDA or even the SEBI. They are also equally enforcing all. But definitely, Reserve Bank of India is known to be a regulator, a stringent regulator. But nonetheless, even before the much above the banking services, it will be the critical infrastructure of the nation. Like your SCADA in US and all, there are separate guidelines for SCADA. You are all ISACA members and you are aware the critical establishment should be protected much more than the financial institutions, because the loss happens if a nuclear power plant was compromised. That's much bigger than the loss happens if a financial institution was compromised, because human life is, I am not able to coin the proper word. The value of human life can't be measured. It's the most important value. Highest value is human. That's why, as you are aware, we are all aware, in data center and all, in case of any mishap happens, we open our data centers also in the file safe mode. Fire safe mode. Fire safe mode means all our doors will be opened to evacuate the people. So whatever data, something happens, that's secondary part. The primary part is the human. The greatest incident in if we go for a business continuity perspective, the 9/11 incident in US is one of the greatest disasters the recent world has seen, witnessed 4 decades, whatever 2 decades, 9/11 incident. And in the 9/11 incident, I want to share something you will be knowing. Morgan Stanley is occupying in both the towers, Tower A and Tower B. My memory and my whatever is recollection, and I am telling before you, the CEO is a young guy in his 40s or something. The moment he came to know Tower A was dismantled by a bomb attack, immediately he took a decision of immediately emptying all the people from Tower B. So all the human Morgan Stanley resources, they quickly evacuated Tower B, and all the human could save their life. That's a great gesture from the CEO. And only there's a casualty of 6 people or 7 people happened. The casualty also happened because of their not following the protocol. In disaster recovery, they say, you take care of your own safety first. Don't look to the safety of others. So some 3, 5, 6 people, they have gone back to inquire whether their colleagues were evacuated or something, violating the protocol, and they could not come out of the debris. So why, though a little away, but it's all IT people. Governance will be coming to governance, but these are all historical things, legacy things we should know. Business continuity is the most important in IT. To the knowledge I am having, the Morgan Stanley incident is one of the best business continuity plan incident happened so far. As per my personal perspective, different people may be having different perspective, but you can Google and find it. And surprisingly, Morgan Stanley could operate from their New Jersey office, including all the top brass available for meetings and all, in 40 minutes or 50 minutes. So every IT professional, every ISACA member should understand that business continuity, how great, robust business continuity planning that organization has. Okay. And there are standards, you are knowing BS 27,000 standard or something, business continuity standards for there. And US, you know, a great institute is there like our ISACA, that is DRI, Disaster Recovery Institute, USA. They are also having certifications, because US is a so huge, great country, big country, and always it's having natural calamities, huge natural calamities. Thank God in India, we are pretty safe. Though our Mumbai is in a seismic zone, other parts of the country like Hyderabad and all, reasonably, even seismically also, they are one of the safest zones. In Mumbai, we had some incident. We had 7 years back, we had that Bombay rains and all flooding, and ICICI Bank and all, even CEO and all, they were held up in the corporate office and all. And Bombay, Bank of Baroda, also all banks, all the CEOs spend their night in the corporate office and next day morning only they receded. A Mumbaiker always aware what's happening in Mumbai in the rainy seasons, initial rains and all. Gujarat is also like that. In Ahmedabad, we had the serious rains and our especially Rajkot side and our Bhavnagar side, and we had 3 months back severe rains and all. It got impacted and all. So one thought I wanted to share you about the disaster recovery, business continuity. One thought by seeing Nitin Pathak came out of my memory here, long bank incident, whatever I studied and whatever I learned, and one of the greatest things. And as we are all here auditors, and we are all here certified CISA auditors, and we are all cybersecurity. And cybersecurity, continuing cybersecurity during a disaster. So if you ask me, am I an expert or am I having a very great knowledge? I am a learner, but I am telling you, you are all young people. You are all very young and you are this one. So one thought process I am giving to you, take away from me is, homework from me is how you can make your organization secure when when a disaster happens. Am I clear? One thought process to you back home, exercise to you, how to secure your own organization when a disaster happens. When a disaster happens, everybody will be busy with their own things and all, but it should not be like that. Actually, the business continuity policy should be invoked, and whatever the procedures and all documented things have to happen. And if they happen as per pre-identified norms and pre-identified procedures and protocols, nothing, mostly it will be a safe run. Okay. And the business continuity, you are aware, it has to be periodically tested, and you should have tabletop exercises and all, and there should be simulations and all, you will be knowing. And even the business continuity policy document should be saved in a hard copy in a offset location. So in this connection, I am requesting you go back to that 9/11 US incident and all, and you appreciate the US government also, a great government. 9/11 incident happens, any incident happened in the US again? No. They know, they go for the root cause analysis and they eliminate the root cause and all, and they will take the such a controls. Thus incident won't occur. 9/11 never occurred again. No incident happened in US again. So we, India, great Pathakji has made it that we surpassed the Chinese population and all. We are emerging on the fifth economy in the country, in the world, fifth economy. The fifth economy going to be achieved under 3 or 4 phases. The first legacy by the first Prime Minister of India, that is called Nehru Mahalbon is, I am not able to utter his word, is an economist. Nehru, like P.V. Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh duo is there, na? Nehru Mahalnobis. Mahalnobis is from Calcutta, is a great economist. Both of them together steered the country for 1.5 decades. The Nehru Mahalbonian thought process steered the country, the foundation, 5-year plans, public sector, huge public sector, the IDPL, Indian Drugs and Pharmaceutical Limiteds. That is the reason for the pharma companies either in Hyderabad or in Gujarat. The foundation was laid by Pandit Nehru, IDPL, BHEL, and HAL, and all these huge mammoth public sector. We followed the Russian thought process, public sector and private sector cooperation. Huge mammoth public sector were started. Your BDL, BDL was headed by your late President Abul Kalam Azad. Intermediate ballistic missiles program was spearheaded by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, our President APJ Azad in Hyderabad, BDL. And now India could be in a position to talk to China or Pakistan because of the foundation laid by Azad, our former Prime Minister, APJ Abdul Kalam. And huge that was happened. And then you are having several governments. And then the second set of revolutions, modern revolution, was captained by Mr. Manmohan Singh as finance minister of the nation, and Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, liberalization of the country in 1990, when Mr. Chandrasekhar was the Prime Minister of India. India has kept her gold in the London, in the Bank of England, to make our payments, because globally, you know, if we default one installment, they will make your rating down. India doesn't want to make their rating down. Recently, you have seen in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka told that I won't make my repayments. But India, during P.V. Narasimha Rao, Chandrasekhar government, India has pledged her gold in Bank of England and borrowed monies from IMF and all. And India had trade deficit. They surpassed the trade deficit. At that point in time, the Finance Minister Manmohan Singh, and supported by the UPA governments and Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, they have made the economy so much liberalized. During that liberalization process only, offshore banking, offshore IT processing came to India. And Mr. Ramalinga Raju of Satcham is the pioneer in India, Satcham Ramalinga Raju, who brought the offshore of IT offshoring to India. He shared the dais along with Mr. Bill Clinton, who visited Hyderabad in 2000, the US President, along with the Chief Minister, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu of Andhra Pradesh at that point in time. But about him will be going back, one of the largest corporate governance failures in the country happened of the same Satcham only, because of some balance sheet frauds and all. We'll be discussing about it. One of the Enron is the greatest failure, corporate governance, ethical failure in US or Western world. Back home, the same greatest person had made a corporate governance failure. That will be discussing a few slides after. So we are multiple memory years, and Pathak ji told that the greatest dividend, whatever is going with this rapid pace at India, is the founding fathers, 4 decades, 5 decades, 6 decades. Foundation is one foundation, and this the demographic dividend is one of the greatest advantage to our nation. That is the greatest dream of Nitin Pathak. We should surpass China. Always used to tell in every Saka this one. Now that we are hearing that China, the population is aging, population is reducing and aging. Globally, Japan and all, you are known, the senior citizens are more than the young people. The demographic dividend means 70% of the population of India, be it 130 crores, they are in the working group of 18 to 60. So 70% of the people are working, their hands are working, they are working. So they are producing goods and services. Elsewhere in the world, it is the other way around. 30% are working and 70% are seniors. China is also going to come slowly to that phase. And a lot of unrest is happening in that country recently because of the non-democratic things and all. Other thing, you know, COVID and all restrictions, how the citizens have surpassed and all, they came out and all, you know, the country may not be sustainable. So this demographic dividend will take our country to the next leg. So this now we'll be discussing a few slides on the cybersecurity incidents and a few slides on IT governance. Some of these slides, students of management and student chartered accountants, cost accountants will be discussing on a balanced scorecard approach that meets every organization to achieve beyond the balance sheet, beyond the profit and loss. Upper balance sheet is top side of the balance sheet, bottom side of the balance sheet. Beyond that, something else is there that is discussed by Kaplan in his balanced scorecard approach. And the IT balanced scorecard approach also will be discussing a few thoughts. We'll be going back with a few thoughts, and we will be working on the thoughts to learn and to further improve upon them. So yeah, initially I told a few things I will be sharing mostly with the BFSI sector, not knowing that, I already admitted that critical infrastructure, your telecommunications is most important. In one of the country recently, the telecom records were compromised. So if the telecom records were compromised, the data leakage will be immense. That's why I told you the telecom may come above the BFSI sector. And I told you the critical infrastructure like your dams and all, the failures are something, this nuclear power plants and all, Iran and other countries, some countries, North Korea and all, they are telling that we are having the nuclear weapons and we will be using them unhygienically and all. So the threats are going to have an impact on the entire globe. So critical infrastructure is most important, and your telecommunication is most important, and manufacturing is none less than manufacturing is also not you are having a pilot, all auto-piloted cars were there. The car is run auto. If the car is run auto and it was like Nitin Pathak himself shown something, somebody had a control and all earlier, Isaac Ahmedabad only displayed and all, then what will be the repercussion? You are there in a car, it is in autopilot mode, somebody at some place, he got control of your autopilot and he takes you some other destination and asks you ransom or something. Again, all these things are more critical than the financial things. So this cybersecurity and IT governance most predominantly. So IT landscape, digitization, significance of cybersecurity, corporate governance, and what ISACA says on IT governance, and Gopalakrishna Committee recommendations. Now the Reserve Bank of India is coming with a master direction. They kept the document very simple. Master guidance direction on GRC. You're all senior auditors, you are no governance, risk and control matters globally. All the globally Western country follows the GRC control framework. So on the line of that, Indian GRC is going to come. Indian GRC in public sector, private sector, BFSI sector, Reserve Bank is going to whatever the Gopalakrishna Committee fine-tuning them and reducing them into some 60-70 points, and they wanted to make like a Indian GRC like IT governance, and the risk control and risk and compliance are integral parts of governance. And modus operandi of a cyber incident, if we had time, we'll share about that one also. And all our questions you can, I am open at the end of the session. So, am I audible, sir? Pathak, sir? So this is about the Indian landscape of banking sector that you are not required, you are not, it's there. Digitization push, direct benefit as real-time gross settlements, and the demonetization 2016, whatever Modi sir has taken a decision at that time, the demonetization. So there is no thing. That's why your Paytm was emerged. That Paytm emerged also, I shared earlier also that these public sector banks are having wallets. Bank of Baroda is having a wallet before Mr. Sharma's Paytm, but public sector could not market the products properly, and Sharmaji could market the product, and he marketed his IPO also, and he got huge crores of rupees under the IPO also. Marketing skills were there for private entrepreneurs. So the digitization and that demonetization has improved the digitization, and everybody is accepting in all our restaurants. Ahmedabad is known for our all person. Wherever we go, we use the payment mode only. That QR code and all everywhere. All vendors are using QR code. It's easy to do. And this push direct benefit transfer was started 10-15 years back. That is the previous Prime Minister's dream. One of the Prime Minister who died very young. His dream is that Nariga borrower should get the money directly to his hands. That is one of the former Prime Minister of India's dream. That is direct benefit transfer. That real-time gross settlements and NEFT, they were huge impact happened. Otherwise, our chartered accountants know, even the chartered accountants payments we to give by check and all, it to DD we to give and all, it to take 3 days, 4 days realization, courier receiving and all the things they were evaporated. Now they are no more. Like Telegram is no more, like that. This demand draft is not there, except for appointment. Wherever they are asking a demand draft should be produced. Otherwise, the entire demand draft itself was vanished in the air. And demonetization 2016, the Prime Minister Modi sir has taken a decision of demonetization. Then after that, from the second day onwards, huge digital only means digital only. There is no currency. Digital only means Digital India mission is there. Government of India identified aspirational districts were there, Niti Aayog and all. There everything has to be done in a digital only mode. Lot of things, payments and settlements, India vision, and all the things. UPI, huge growth, NEFT, growth in digital transactions. All these transactions have resulted in huge cybersecurity challenges. Reserve Bank of India itself identified cyber risk as a high category risk. Earlier, they used to have a medium category risk. And Reserve Bank of India, huge number of advisories and all. And after this, whatever the stock exchange incident happened in Bombay, or whatever the medical institutions incident happened in Delhi, lot of advisories and lot of advisories were issued by CERTIN. CERTIN is the government body that CERTIN is the think tank. CERTIN works along with global CERTIN US and all collaborative centralized response for cyber incidents. So CERTIN issues advisories, and the banks will follow those advisories, and whatever the malicious IPs and all, where this command and control happens and all, they will give that, and we will always our Arbor or something, our firewalls, through firewalls will we will deny traffic to those IP addresses. We block them. Known rogues, we block them through our IP, and we will not allow them to come into our corporate network. ACFE is a global body, certified fraud examiners. Some of you are certified fraud examiners, and they also has given a report of during the COVID time and all. Now that things are there, they expected to detect a lot of cyber incidents. CrowdStrike, huge all global reports. They will say that the adversaries, India-specific adversaries, qualified Viceroy Tiger, Mythic Leopard. So these India-based adversaries were also there. They are working only geographic specific targets. They will their target is India. Okay, India-based targets. So these. So a few moments I explained you the cyber landscape and threats and India specific threats and all the regulators and all certain and all, they are giving lot of advisories and regulations for there to immediately identify. 4 hours I have to the FSA sector, I have to identify a cyber incident to Reserve Bank of India. And about the cyber whatever the incident happened, malware incident happened in our stock exchange, we came to know through a BSE notification. The stock exchange notified the BSE that one of my computer servers were compromised, and we are sanitizing all our environment, and our services may be not be available. Okay, so that that BSE, they announced to BSE. So the regulations were there for listed companies, and regulations were there for financial sector, Reserve Bank of India, and incident reporting and all. So we discussed a few points on cyber security. Now I'll be taking a few slides on corporate governance. OECD, organization of OECD is a global body. No? OECD, organization of it's a global body. OECD, the one of the most oldest global body in the world. OECD. As per the OECD, that is the norm. Actually, you will be having the Cadbury Committee and all UK. That was originated actually in UK. Cadbury Committee reports and all chartered accountants. You know, corporate governance. You are having a subject itself on corporate governance, and a lot of you are chartered accountants. You are the company secretaries. You are the guardians of corporate governance, conscious keepers of the corporate governance of the organization, company secretary. You are aware more than me. So this, I'm telling you this one, corporate governance as defined by OECD, the set of relationships among the company's management, its board, its shareholders, and other stakeholders. Meaningful cohesion of these people, and it's the relationship, because as a company has to serve to meet the needs of all the stakeholders. Though the board of directors are the this one, they are the promoters of the company, and this one, but the company has to do to its employees, to its customers, and to the government, all these bodies. So a meaningful set of relationship with all the stakeholders of the company's management is corporate governance involves a meaningful relationship, and the board has to steer this activity. And the corporate governance provides a structure through which the objectives of the company are set, and the means of attaining those objectives are, and monitoring of performance are determined. So any company is existing for its mission statement, and the vision document, it has to fulfill the vision and the mission of the company. You are aware, and the company is existing if non-government organizations and all, if you live for a corporate to objective, meeting corporate objective, meaningful returns to the stakeholders, meaningful returns to the shareholders they have to give, and it has to be carried out through a meaningful efforts, and through performance, and the means of attaining those objectives also should be well defined, and there should be within the framework of the law. And the purpose of corporate governance is to help build an environment of trust, transparency, accountability. Trust, transparency, and accountability necessary for fostering long-term financial stability and business integrity, thereby supporting stronger growth. You are aware Tata Group is existing for 100 years or 200 years. The Air India, when it was taken over by Tata's, every citizen of the company was happy. They were so known for corporate governance in the country. So there was something somewhere we read long back, J.R.D. Tata coming out of his office, people are working, accounts department is working day in and day out. They are all working late evening. So they're telling, just J.R.D. inquired, what you are all guys doing here late evening? So financial accounts closure. So we are all finding ways and means. Where are the exemptions of tax savings and all? So it was mentioned that J.R.D. told, whatever legitimately we have to pay to the government, pay it. So here Nitin Pathak, like chartered accountants and all, the government should shield the corporate taxpayers. The government of India is doing a lot of good things, but they're not telling who are the top 10 taxpayers and all. They are not disclosing. The government should come out and publicly disclose, and Minister of Chartered Accountant of India should request the government of India to disclose the top 100 taxpayers on whom the country is running, on whom the security, jet security to the politicians is being acquired. That gives the importance to the taxpayers, corporate taxpayers, who is paying what, who is paying to the exchequer. So they are the Tata Group, you are aware, we are all aware, known for corporate governance. And we are also aware for certain groups of going for all kind of, certain groups are going for all kind of subsidies and all kind of exemptions, all kind of advantages from the government. So that this corporate governance has to sustain, means the person who paid most should be welcomed by the government, and he should be given a green channel for his delivery. He should be given a green channel to that person who is paying the tax more. There should be like export customers for their government of India identifies exporter as star exporter and all you are aware, single star, double star, 5-star on the basis of the amount of exports. Okay. Similarly, on the amount of tax payment also, corporate governance also, there are some bodies they will give. There is one body, I've forgotten the name, that will give you corporate governance ranking of the corporates, but public mostly they know which company is highest corporate governance and all, which brands are really dependable and all, they are aware. So we mentioned about corporate governance on OECD and this one, and our own back home. SEBI monitors and regulates corporate governance of listed companies in India to clause 49, and the Company Act 2015 appointing the resident director, key management personnel, you are aware, CFO, CEO, and even the company secretary, they're all accountable to the board, and also they are all accountable to their bodies to which they associate with the Chartered Accountants of Institute of Chartered Accountants or company secretaries and all. And they're all accountable to the regulators also. Now that you are aware, even in a cooperative bank, if you want to appoint the CRO or the CEO or even the CFO, the Reserve Bank of India post facto concurrency is required. Okay. So, and 2013 Act, your Companies Act has made new concepts, performance evaluation of the board, committee, and individual directors. Similarly, on the basis of the corporate governance, IT governance was coined by ISACA. ISACA, EGIT, Enterprise Governance in Information Technology, is the word coined by ISACA. So EGIT says it's a system which all stakeholders, board, senior management, internal customers, and departments provide input into the IT decision-making process. IT, Enterprise Governance in Information Technology, as per ISACA, it's a system in which all stakeholders, the board, the senior management, the internal customers and departments provide inputs to the IT decision-making process. Enterprise Governance Information Technology, the stewardship of IT resources on behalf of all stakeholders who expect their interest to be met. Responsibility of board of directors and executive management. Enterprise governance of IT information technology is the responsibility of the board of directors and executive management. Purpose of enterprise governance information technology is to direct IT endeavor to ensure IT aligns with and support enterprise objectives and its a realization of promised benefits. Before start of my deliberation, I mentioned you that IT has to serve the purpose of business. The IT is existing because business is there. So I will always be working under business and I'll always be serving under business and I'll always be, my objective is to meet the business objective to information technology. IT resources be used responsibly. IT risks should be managed appropriately. We are all certified people, CISA certified people or other certification people and all. So our foremost responsibility is the resources were optimized. Top management, the board of directors doesn't know. They believe, they trust you as a professional, as a certified member of ISACA. They believe that you are delivering value to the organization. So it is under this IT governance, it is our utmost responsibility to ensure that our IT resources are used responsibly. IT risks also should be managed appropriately. The risk should be risk reward return is the most key word. Some person will take more projects, but ultimately what is that? If it is more risk, you should not take. There's a concept called risk adjusted return. Always have to go for risk adjusted return. Risk management, we say risk adjusted return on capital. That is most important. So pure technology people are there. So they are a hybrid, like Nitin Pathak sir, he's a CISA, all certified, IT certified, and also a chartered accountant. They are balance sheet experts. But most of the people of this ISACA chapter, Ahmedabad or Hyderabad or Mumbai, they are pure technology people. But pure technology people also, you should learn the basics of accountings. That's why, you know, public sector, all public sector, there'll be a training on for what is that? Balance sheet analysis for non-financial people. Financial inputs for non-financial people. The return on investment, the risk, all these concepts, whatever is there, cost of capital, and what is the stakeholders' expectation? What are the values we are giving to stakeholders? It is the responsibility of the IT also should understand. If IT understands the concepts and the concepts of business, then the meaningful congruence is there, then the organization will flourish. IT should not work in silo. IT is known for working under silo. No, we have to closely work with business. This governance is the glue that is bringing all these subsets into one area and ultimately to deliver to the best interest of the organization and giving the better products to the customers at the best competitive, most competitive price. China, he told. Japan, he told. Korea, they are all known for high value productions. India also. Why India is outsourced? India is outsourced because of its competitive advantage. One New Jersey head of institution of a big institution, IT institution, he told, don't find fault with me that I am outsourcing every work and getting it done from Mumbai. Because he told in one of its board meetings, because I am getting it everything outsourced to India and getting it done, I am getting it 50 cents. If I get it done in US, in New Jersey, with all the native people, the cost will be $2 and our company will be, and our university will be in loss. So outsourcing, though some people are telling outsourcing always is for advantage. We are having manpower. India is having trained manpower is India's advantage. To get that advantage, outsourcing is happening to India. So what I mean to say is IT should deliver best. IT should utilize the resources effectively, and the risks, it should be mitigated efficiently. Business managers and boards demanding a better return from IT. What is the return on investment? I am working in SLOS, Security Operations Center. Nitin Pathak sir told, I am head of Global Cyber Security Operations Center. As head of this Global Cyber Security Operations Center, I am in a dilemma. What is the return on investment? 50 crores I am spending, 35 crores is the budget for the tools. 15 crores is the budget, 5 crores is the budget for the manpower. What is the return on investment? That's definitely we should strive to achieve return on investment. One young guy, one of the ISACA meetings, I have gone to Bombay. Young guy is CEO of a company, corporate in Mumbai, IT company. He told, mind, guys, the return should come in 6 months. Then only I will give, invest. Otherwise, it will not. But it will be difficult. At least 2 years. The return should come in 2 years. The return, your technology itself is getting outdated in 2 years. Then how quickly obsolescence of technology, how quickly it's obsolescence, your results should be faster. You should have a weekly scorecard, monthly scorecard, quarterly scorecard, and you should get all your return before the technology, all your investment becomes sunk cost. So business managers and board demanding a better return on IT, concern over the generally increasing level of IT expenditure. We should be responsible for our expenditure. At the same time, we should deliver also. New products are coming. New companies or competitors offering a better product. So you want technology. You have to adapt. One of the best companies or best adopters of technology. I suggest you In Search of Excellence, Good to Great books. Tom Peters, you read. Tom Peters find with a 5-year research or 10-year research, the best companies in the world existed for 200 years. They're all huge adopters of technology, quick adopters of technology. They're not original innovators. They adopted it technology. Japanese are also not innovators. America innovates and Japan uses. They are improvement in the process. Manufacturing or something is called. Yeah, they can make it in a small piece. A big radio, they can make it this much. That is the ability of Japan. Japan has not invented anything. All inventions happened in US. But they are having their own concepts like just in time and all. Process, assembly line efficiency, manufacturing efficiency. They assemble all. They will manufacture, deliver. They beat America in their own streets. So we should also, IT should also meet the demands of the business managers. Concern over generally increasing level of expenditure, need to meet regulatory requirements for IIT controls in areas like ICFR, internal control over financial reporting, most important. Your balance sheet is derived from the computer. What are internal control over financial report in one of the greatest scam happened in India? That is the Satyam scam, in which Mr. The PwC, the chartered accountant, the concurrent auditor was also taken task. I should not name the company. It is the individual, not the company. Companies are great. The individual for not having the oversight. As an auditor, also what you can do? They had established a back door to their ERP. After the entire day end happened, the ERP will open, back doors were there to a few people. They will create fictitious invoices. They create ghost employees, everything. And next day morning again, it will happen something. Same story told. ILFS or something, some bank happened. Some Punjab, what bank happened in Bombay? PMC Bank, I don't know. Small private sector bank, cooperative bank that was closed. I don't know how far it was proved. One lady officer told certain accounts are not visible. Certain accounts are not visible to us, only they are visible. I don't know whether a wild comment made by her or I don't know. But it happened in Satyam. The balance sheet is every day after everybody goes, only 3 people distorted the balance sheet. They recreated the balance sheet. So what are the internal control over financial reporting? That's why the Sarbanes-Oxley Act came in USA. The CFO and CEO have to testify that the controls, internal controls are effective and efficient. And the auditors have to give SOC 1 and SOC 2 report on financial reporting. So need to meet the regulatory requirements, selection of service providers and management of service outsourcing and acquisition. This service provider selection, huge guidelines by CBC. And you know, one predominantly Parsi dominated bank is there in Bombay. One madam is there, known to me. She's a senior manager and all. And I also applied for the CEO of the position, but Darwala madam has not selected me. Okay, she's the chairman of, former chairman of Central Bank of India. She's a great lady, banker. Okay, but that lady told all internal contracts and all given to directors, this one and all, loss of financial losses and all the reserves were reduced drastically in 1 or 2 years. So internal control over financial reporting is very much important. It's this one of the critical component of corporate governance, and also service provider selection and management of service outsourcing and acquisition. That's also most important in corporate governance. Back home, 1 decade back, Reserve Bank of India, Gopalakrishna Committee recommendation on BFSI, it works banks to formulate a board. Why I am telling you, all regulators will always follow the similar regulations, and the Indian regulator is borrows from the Basel Committee and all, the global body, and India is a member of Basel Committee and all. That's why the capital adequacy norms and were all imposed by the regulator, Reserve Bank of India, because of commitment to Government of India. We are all having accords globally. Globally, Government of India had accords with UN protocols and all global accords and all. AML and all these global accords were signed 2 decades, 3 decades back, and these protocols we are all one world. So whatever the guidelines by Reserve Bank of India mostly derived from other regulators. And like corporate governance, I told you, the Cadbury Committee and all are known, and even your South Africa is also very known for corporate governance. Okay, King's Act and all, they are very stringent acts. Even our own bank was reprimanded because of having not following the this one. I should not say all the banks will be reviewed very severely. Their global regulations, we should understand them, appreciate them, follow them. And these pharma companies, all our pharma Intas, and he is very closely known to me, all the pharma companies and all. They're also working globally, multiple locations, all our pharma companies, they have to, global regulators, they have to do the regulations of the global regulations. And financial regulations, and if you are a company, a listed company, SEBI guidelines, they're all similar. Stock exchange listing norms, they're all similar. BSE norms for capital markets, they are more stringent than my own bank. I am auditing, reviewing Bob Capital Markets, my subsidiary. They are more stringent or something. So I am giving you one of the regulators' flavors or this one. This and this is body of knowledge is from Institute of Internal Auditors, and this is the you are having Institute of Internal Auditors, and you are having I will try to recollect and come back to you. That Sarbanes-Oxley Act, what is that one? 5 bodies. IAEA is also body. That body, they're all developed the standards. From there, all these standards and our regulators are adapted. Committee of Sponsoring Organizations, COSO. You are all aware, COSO ERM framework. Enterprise Risk Management, the globally known COSO, Committee of Sponsoring Organizations, 5 bodies, including Institute of Internal Auditors, ACPA, all your American accountants units, all 5 bodies, they have given the COSO ERM, Enterprise Risk Management Framework, post Sarbanes-Oxley Act, that one after the failure of the Enron incident. So this is all, this governance, this RBI Gopalakrishna Committee derived the things from the global best practices. So banks need to formulate a board-approved IT strategy or plan, document, and the strategic plan and policy need to be reviewed. Board-approved IT strategy. The regulator will assign all the responsibility to the board, none less than the board. Regulator will send all the circulars to the CEO of the bank, but he will ask all the actions upon it you place before your board, highest body. So they say that IT strategy, board approved IT strategy, plan document, and the strategic plan and policy need to be reviewed annually. IT strategy and plan document should be approved by the board and it should be reviewed annually. Exclusive board level IT strategy committee with a minimum of 2 directors as members, one of whom should be an independent director. All members of IT strategy committee would need to be technically competent. Reserve Bank of India told for ISI and all CSAC qualified. All our Institute of Chartered Accountant of India DSAC qualified. They made it mandatory in India. Okay, so IT strategy committees and all, only these qualified people should be there, and independent directors should be there, and technically competent people should be there. And technology initiative, at least 1% should be having the knowledge to expertise in managing and guiding technology initiatives. IT steering committee needs to be created with representative from various IT functions, HR, legal, and business functions as appropriate to assist the executive management. Your HR should be there, legal should be there, IT should be there, and business should be there. All these verticals. IT steering committee is the lower level, strategy committee is the highest level that directly interacts with the board and suggests the board all the IT initiatives and all. Steering committee will support the IT strategy committee. The steering committee should have the people from all IT functions, and your HR, your legal, your business, all appropriate, and assist the executive management in the implementation of IT strategy approved by the board. Gopala Krishna committee, now it will become no more. It is a very old, this is going to be replaced with the Reserve Bank of India document. That's direction of MOD, the direction, master direction. Mostly these were reproduced line to line. There were less number of lines were there. Almost these were, and a few, this one is there. Major projects and project risk management needs to be carried out and managed on an ongoing basis. So security, you are establishing your SOC. There should be a project risk management. You are establishing your data center. You should be a project risk management, risk assessment need to be there, and it should be managed on an ongoing basis. And the bank wide risk management policy or operational risk policy needs to be include IT related risks, and risk management committee should be periodically review and update the same. So I am telling you, you should know IT, VAL IT is there. VAL IT. VAL IT is a book published by ISACA. VAL IT. Risk IT is there. That's also volume published by ISACA. So if you want to come up to the board level and all, if you want to make this one, you should know this VAL IT, risk IT, and you should know the COBIT, control, objective and information, and COBIT implementation. Then you can identify the risks early, mitigate the risks effectively, and you can add value to the organization, and you can understand the project risks in advance, and you can go if a risk is happening, something also you will have alternative plans, and you will having the Deming's plan to check act, and you will be having all the things. So they're telling bank-wide risk management policy and operational risk policy. IT risk also comes under part of operational risk. Operational risk is this huge set. In this, IT risk is a subset of operational risk. And your COSO ERM framework very well explains all the things. And the risk management committee should be periodically reviewed and updated the same. And IT balance and scorecard may be considered. You appreciate this Gopal Krishna 15 years back. He told IT balanced scorecard may be considered for the implementation. I am not explaining you, maybe considered for implementation with approval from key stakeholders to measure IT performance along with the different dimensions such as financial aspects, customer satisfaction, process effectiveness, future capability, and assessing IT management performance. If you can understand this one line, and if you go to the BSG balanced scorecard issued by Harvard professor Kaplan, we arrived this IT balanced scorecard, ISACA and all. The original innovation is by Kaplan of Harvard Business School. Balanced scorecard approach. Google it, understand it, and try to include in your monthly progress. I implemented in my operations. I implemented when I'm exceptionally large branch. The balanced scorecard, what says? Usually the P&L we are worried. Balance sheet, top sheet the sales, bottom sheet the profit we are worried. The balanced scorecard speaks about your future ability to earn. Today you are having 1,000 crore sales, turnover, 100 crores profit. Will it suffice? Last one, Q1, Q2, Q3. Previous year, year on year, last 3 years balance sheet, bankers, chart accountants, they will give projected balance sheets, and last 3 balance sheets I will determine, and I will give the loans and all. Balance sheet determines you the sales and the financials, profit. As on a date will say. So balance the scorecard is much beyond that. It is financial aspects is one of the consideration. Of course, it is the most critical consideration, but they're all equally critical considerations were there. They will sustain your organization, long live your organization. If your organization has to live for 100 years, next 2040, 2060, you want to see, you have to have a balanced scorecard. Customer satisfaction. Without customer, nothing will happen. Customer satisfaction you have to. IT, you are serving internal customers. How your internal customer is satisfied, you have to measure. Yeah, the manufacturer, BMW, how your customer is doing, you have to measure. Constant improvement, your product should be one of the best. Customer is very difficult to satisfy him. Gujarat ma kehawat છે ને, સસ્તું જોઈએ, નમતું જોઈએ, આગળ વધતું નથી.
સાચી વાત છે.
સાચી વાત.
સાચી વાત છે.
સુરતી, I worked with Sutti, Ahmedabadi, બધું સસ્તું જોઈએ, નમતું જોઈએ, બધા જોઈએ. Customer wants everything. Sky on the high. So customer satisfaction is most important. Process effectiveness is most important. Your PDCA, your process should be improved. And future capability. Future capability is through learning and development. This is ISACA CPE. Nitin Pathak sir is developing, learning. I am sharing, you are learning, I am learning from you. Learning and development. All your resources should be signed. They should learn, they should future ready. You are ready today. Your opponent came with a new product. CG, this one. AI is revolutionizing everything. My son asked, you give a poem on 2 pets. What corporate governance did you such a? That you want. My AI will give you everything. PPT, she says, I am not I am a text-based AI, you know. So in that innovation, how you are be relevant for future capability, assessing IT management and performance. So IT balanced scorecard is derived from balanced scorecard, and the IT balanced scorecard beyond the financial aspects, it will also see the customer satisfaction, your process improvement, your learning and development, means adaptability, and your skill set. So, and yesterday, Pathak Saab came for a 3-day session with a lot of money, invested money for his awareness, self-awareness. He will ask him, we can't spend that 30,000 money. I am not. So we'll ask him to take a session on self-awareness. He will take a session. Whatever the 100 sessions he attended of his guru, we ask him to take the session, next session on self-awareness. Okay, IT management, performance management. Banks also, IT maturity levels were there. Based on international standards. You know the Carnegie Mellon University, the innovator of CMMI, Carnegie Mellon University, level 5. That was last 2 years back or 3 years back, was purchased or taken over by ISACA. Now ISACA is the owner of the capability maturity model. So where you are there, your ITIL framework is there. ITIL 2, 3, 4, the vision document, you should go to 4. You should go to 5. Our Capgemini, our TCS, our Infosys, our Wipro, all our great Indian companies are CMM level 5 companies. So capability maturity model. Oh, what he spoke about banking sector, this IT sector, you are all IT people, you have to adapt it. He adapted from others, and this one cyber attack from this one. No, that is available to you. That is available to you. So if any questions are there, I am available to you. Corporate governance is most important. That is the company secretaries are the conscious keepers of the corporate governance of the country, certain country. Whatever financial failures are happening, they are all the companies are with less corporate governance, but we IBC Act and all we are exiting them. And two greatest disasters happened globally. That is the greatest failure of Enron, which collapsed the US stock exchanges and made the US shareholders poor over a day. And after that only the group of, not group of ministers, the group of committee of sponsoring organizations came, the Sarbanes and Oxley, member of parliaments of US Senate, they conducted, they came out with Sarbanes-Oxley Act, section 404 of the act. The US listed, NY listed companies have to give the controls, internal controls are testified and the controls are existing, and the chartered accountants have to give the certification SOC 1, SOC 2 that the controls are existing and the controls are effective. Back in India, and I will share the name of Cynthia Cooper, young AVP Enron. She was a chartered accountant and AVP internal audit of Enron. The CFO has not allowed her light. The CFO has not allowed her even paper, but she worked for 3 months, 4 months without anything. And Cynthia Cooper, she requested the audience with the internal audit head of the audit committee chair of Enron. Cynthia Cooper elected the audit committee chair. Something wrong is going on drastically in our organization. I want to come and speak to you. Cynthia Cooper, but the same day, like what happened back home in India with such an incident, the same day when this lady wanted a meeting with her audit committee chair, she's also a lady in US. So the committee CEO announced, the NYSE darling, Enron CEO announced that my financials are fabricated. And the entire stock got collapsed. And your stringent acts came, Sarbanes-Oxley Act and all. Back India, corporate governance failures is the Sachem incident. It was there in the public domain. All these things were there in the public domain, so we can discuss them. The Sachem modus operandi, it was also a balance sheet fraud, and it was announced by none less than the chairman, Ramalinga Raju. The statement he has given on the day to the newspaper, and I remember the statement. You please remember, please, you please appreciate me for my memory. Ramalinga Raju given one line: I am riding a tiger. If I come out also, the tiger will kill me. What he told? I am on a tiger, riding a tiger. If I come out also, the tiger will kill me. He made a balance sheet misappropriation. The internal control of financial reporting were greatly tampered. After the entire day and the end of the day happened, 2-3 people need to have ghost to backdoor entry, created ghost accounts, ghost receipts, ghost bank deposits, assets are inflated, employees, ghost employees, salaries, sales were inflated, everything was inflated. And the company has lost. So with this, and there is this one of the cyber attack happened long back in the Cosmo, in one of the cooperative banks, how persistence and all, how that is for your, this one. You go through it, the advanced persistent threats and all are there. So you are all be aware and all. Well, Nitin Pathak, as long as I am available to him, Pathak sir gives me opportunities time and again. Dr. Saab and Nitin's Patil sir, all ISACA governing body, I thank them. Some people from Hyderabad chapter also joined. And thanks, Pathak ji. And I am available for any feedback, and I am available for your questions. Sir, Pathak sir, questions, and I am available for your comments and your closing remarks. So whatever Pathak sir is dreaming, the India that will happen, China outpacing and all, military and economy and all, will happen through corporate governance only. You work for people who are with corporate governance only. Don't encourage the companies on the size of the balance sheet. You encourage the companies on the ethical values. Ethics, values, corporate governance, meeting the expectations of stakeholders. All the peoples with hefty bonuses for corporate governance, they were imprisoned in US. And you know, one of the CEO, lady CEO of a bank, what she happened? She's a legendary in banking industry. She shared her dais with the chief minister, vibrant chief minister. She shared her dais with the prime minister. She is created huge. But for one wrong decision of her, maybe influenced by some other thing, she was questioned, drilled by the enforcement authorities for night, throughout the night. Here, if any enforcement came into place, the sex won't have any role. Lady will also be interrogated throughout the night. And God should bless us. And I don't know, certain things will be, though we are doing, sometimes things will come on our head because of our senior assignments. This one, everything we are responsible. How we can be responsible. But having ethical values, I am telling you one last note, my personal note. Pathak sir, I worked as a branch head on 4 occasions, overseas branch Chennai. I had not acquired one NPI account to Bank of Baroda. I had to deliver loans to my customers in 3 days, but I had to choose best customers. Wife, husband working, good financials, give the loans. Don't choose bad customers. So ethically, if you work, you don't get one thing. And IT, deal with good corporates, deal with good vendors, matured vendors. Vendor selection, everything. Ethical companies don't give any compliments. They will not give any compliment. There's a policy. Big companies for there, they won't sponsor anything. Isaka Ahmedabad. So they will give blessings. Once I stolen a pen from Pathak sir after four sessions. So have ethical behavior and keep corporate governance and balanced scorecard, IT governance and all that makes your organization to next level. Pathak sir.
Yeah, sir.
For
Hello.
your remarks.
Yes.
Feedback from any Agrawal ji.
नहीं मैं सबको म्यूट किया मैं अनम्यूट करता हूँ 1 सेकंड
Viral Mehta.
I'm muting everyone. Unmuting everyone. 1 second hold करना sir. 1 second हाँ.
Gajendra Jain.
I'm back in 1 minute. Okay.
Nidhi
I'm unmuting everyone. Okay.
Rajesh Patel. Rajan Patel is my close friend. R.S. Patel. R.S. Patel has gone to a new office. We congratulate them through this forum because they are also legendary chartered accountant firm. They are my vendors and I appreciated them for their timely detection of their risks to the bank.
Sorry, hello. Yeah, I forgot to unmute myself. Anybody can unmute and talk to any question? And those who want CP hours can email me at nitinampathak@gmail.com. Then there are a series of lectures which I've already announced. The few one is every Friday there is a talk, and one of the talk is on the subject of from PwC, and one is on GST, one on budget. So anyone wants to join, there is a blog called cnitinampathak.blogspot.com. Everything would be available there. And any question, those who want CP hours, just call me. Just email me at nitinampathak@gmail.com. I will see that you got a CP hours. Anybody wants to ask a question, then I will hand over, finish the talk. Mr. Satya, your talk is so lucid, so powerful, and I'd never seen a person like you who has an in-depth knowledge of every subject on the this thing. And it is a great privilege to be a person like you. And with this, there are a lot of presentation available in my blog, Nitinem Pathak, cnitinampathak.blogspot.com. Anyone wants to do ISACA course, whether it be a CISA, CSAM, or any other course. Sir, you need to unmute. Hello, you unmute.
The feedback, some one or two people, any feedback?
Anyone wants to give a feedback, including Dinesh Vetlani, Eric Mehta, Gajendra Jain, Haresh Sujat, MP Prashant, Rajesh Patel, Shivani, Dharti Mehta, Dharit Mehta, Dilshuk Mehta, Hitendra Agrawal, Nidhi Goyal. But talk was an excellent one. It comes from the bottom of your heart. So we know that you are the champion.
Gujarati genes क्या भाई sir? Gujarati genes.
No, you're just genius. It's beyond imagination.
Gujarati friendship with people like you. Gujarati, my Gujarati flower.
Yeah, sir.
Like my Gujarati connect is I started my career with Surat. 7 years I worked and 3 years in Ahmedabad.
The way you speak, we feel that you know Gujarati very well. And with this, we conclude the session. The recording will be available. Once again, thank you, Mr. Satya Gudgo. And he's expected to retire in 6 months' time. He's going to Israel. And the qualification which he has it is beyond imagination. And I would like to have in my team very soon. So I'm delighted to be back when you retire, and from Bank of Baroda, not from life. With this, I end the conclusions once again. Thank you very much. Anybody wants CP hours, just email me nitinampathak@gmail.com. Thank you very much. With this, I close the session. Thank you, sir.